Renee Filipponi is in Abbotsford tonight. So, Renee, once again, everyone there bracing, I suppose, for what could come.
Yeah, absolutely, Adrienne. And a big problem today has been localized flooding. That has happened here and in spots right across the Fraser Valley. The road is closed behind me. The entire parking lot for the Castle Fun Park is totally flooded out. And that's because rain has been pooling in these lower lying areas. And it's led the city to issue a small number of new evacuation orders. You know, all this after tireless work to prepare for this storm. Officials and residents are really holding their breath, hoping it doesn't get worse.
As the third atmospheric river poured over Abbotsford, the volunteers did not stop, preparing sandbags to be delivered to anyone in need.
Farms, homes, people who just want to cover their doorstep, barns, animals.
Desperate to protect their homes from more flooding, residents came to pick up supplies.
We're fortunate. We had 1 inch. We have friends who had 3 feet. Other friends had 7 feet and lost their homes.
The city says there is localized flooding and small landslides, but repairs to the dikes have held up.
I am confident that we have done all that we can do to keep our community safe as we go through this final weather event for this week anyway.
Snowmelt is adding to the problem, flowing into already full rivers, and many areas are at an increased risk of avalanches. The rain was also intense on Vancouver Island and BC's central coast. The province is warning people to stay home and off major highways.
Safety remains our key consideration, and if required, we will preemptively close more highways.
That person's house would be somewhere about there.
Further up the Fraser Valley, near Hope, the rushing water continues to cause destruction. The regional district says it has been asking the province for help and is not getting what it needs.
Currently, we have funding requests for critical infrastructure, such as the Wilson Road Dike, where there are homes on the verge of falling into the river and they need help today.
In response, the province says local governments can take immediate action without provincial approval.
We're doing everything we can to make sure people and communities have the resources and supports that they need.
Heading towards our barns as well.
Meanwhile, on the ground, some can only watch as the water moves in.
We're only into the first 10 hours of this next storm. If it lasts the next 2 days, I think we're going to be into the same situation we were before.
And so, Renee, what is the plan for tonight as the storm continues?
Well, throughout the night, crews will be checking on those dikes, making sure there isn't a breach and that all the work they've done over the past couple of days holds through this storm. There is some good news out of Washington State. Officials there say they do not believe the Nooksack River will overflow its banks anytime today or the next couple of days. That would have brought a lot more water north here into Canada. Adrienne?
All right, Renee, thanks very much. Renee Filipponi in Abbotsford tonight. The situation in British Columbia is really developing quickly. So let's bring in Dan Bird in our Vancouver newsroom with the latest. Dan, can you walk us through it, please?
Adrienne, as the rain keeps falling in large parts of southern and coastal BC tonight, evacuation orders and alerts now spread across several parts of this region. The latest tonight in the city of Abbotsford, where at least 5 properties were ordered to evacuate, those in red, as unstable slopes and landslides threaten them. Several other properties are on evacuation alert. Those are in yellow. Evacuation orders have also been issued in Mission, and alerts are in place in Hope all the way up to Pemberton. And as Renee mentioned, road closures continue to be an issue. Highway 1 remains closed east of Abbotsford to Chilliwack and between Popcombe and Hope. Closures also remain on the crippled Coquihalla, Highway 8, and Highway 99 between Lillooet and Pemberton, the same stretch where a mudslide killed 5 people more than 2 weeks ago. And tonight, the province is again asking people to avoid any non-essential travel as crews monitor the severe weather in this region. We'll have the latest on all our CBC platforms throughout the night. For now, back to you in Toronto.
Now, senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff is keeping a close eye on this storm. So, Joe, which areas are getting hit the hardest?
Well, Andrew, this storm is coming in from a very different direction than our last two. So the rainfall pattern is all over the place. In fact, where I'm standing in North Vancouver, one of the bullseyes that we're watching as we head into the overnight, take a look at the forecast rainfall. This is on top of what we've already seen, and we've already seen 50 to 100 millimeters for places like Tofino on the west coast of Vancouver Island, farther up the coast from where I am, places like Bella Coola, Squamish and Whistler, and then the northern sections of Metro Vancouver, again, where I'm standing, the lower Fraser Valley and Abbotsford still looking to get totals around 80 to 90 millimeters, not the 200 that we'll see elsewhere, but all that mountain precip will work its way through the watersheds. And Andrew, the other factor, the incredibly high freezing levels. We are seeing snow melting on the tops of our mountains tonight.
And Joe, do we have an idea how long it'll take for all that water to work its way through the watersheds, as you point out, and finally give everyone a break?
There is a delay, so the rain event will end tomorrow afternoon, but we may have to wait until tomorrow afternoon into Thursday for many of our rivers to actually peak, especially with all that runoff. But after that, a legitimate break for the South Coast, a full 48 hours. After that, just showers, not atmospheric rivers. But Andrew, as we round out the end of the month, many stations, including Abbotsford, Vancouver, Tofino, will have seen their wettest month ever on record, with more than double November average.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.